Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Sonic Love. So in today's video, we're going to be taking apart the Steam Deck and we're going to be upgrading the internal memory to a 512 gig Dell M.2 NVMe SSD. We're going to upgrade it to make sure that we have more memory because this is the 64 gig version, and obviously it is not enough memory, so we're going to do that. But not only that, but we're also going to put in a 1 terabyte Amazon basic SD card. So we'll have 1 terabyte SD card and also 512 gig internal memory, which will be more than enough to have lots of AAA games, retro games for PC. Also enough space for any emulation games that you wish to also install. So what you're going to need for this process is you're going to need some type of toolkit. It's just one screw that you need. It needs to be a Phillips. It needs to be quite small. You'll also need to have a flash disk, just to make sure that you can put the recovery Steam OS image on there, because obviously once we put in the internal memory, then we will have to reinstall Steam OS. You will also need to have your SSD. It also needs to be 30mm. We need to have that also, which is pretty cool. So we need to have that, and that's about it really. Maybe a plastic prying tool to open the case up, and that's about it. So without further ado, let's get into upgrading the Steam Deck. Okay guys, so first thing that we're going to need to do in order to proceed is we're going to need to put the Steam Deck OS. So what you need to type in is Steam Deck recovery instructions, and then it'll bring you to Steam support. I'll just quickly go through just so you can read it on the screen. If it's too small, I apologize. I'll just quickly read through the instructions for you. So it says, on Windows, recommended that using the Rufus utility, select the recovery file and write it to your USB drive. This will format the content of your USB drive. When it's done, select close and eject the drive. This is for Windows, by the way, but there is Mac and Linux also instructions for it. Use USB Type-C adapter to the hub. Plug in the boot disk. Plug the boot disk in. Shut down the Steam Deck if you haven't already. Hold the volume down and click the power button. When you hear the chime, let go of the volume down button, and you'll be booted into Boot Manager. In the Boot Manager, boot from EFI, USB drive, your USB key. The screen will go dark while it's booting. Give it a minute. Once booted, you will be in desktop environment and you can navigate using the trackpad or triggers. Recovery options. In the recovery environment, you have 4 options. You have re-image the Steam Deck. This performs a full factory reset. All user info, installed games, applications or operating systems will be wiped and replaced with stock Steam OS. Clear local used data. This reforms the home partitions of the Steam Deck, which will recover downloaded games and all personal contacts stored on the deck, included systems configurations. Reinstall Steam OS. This will reinstall Steam OS on the deck while attempting to preserve your games and personal content. Recovery tools. This opens a prompt with the ability to make changes to your Steam Deck boot partition. So they are the simple instructions that you have, but what we need to do, if you are using the links, it's Blender Etcher. If you're using a Mac OS, Blender Etcher, but they recommend for Windows that you use Rufus. Now I normally use Blender Etcher for everything that I do, but we're going to go with Rufus this time. So this is the first time I'll be doing this as well. So it says download the recovery image. So first I'm actually going to download Rufus. So as you scroll down, we have Rufus 3.19, Rufus 3.19 portable, other versions, GitHub. So I'm just going to go with the latest version, which is Rufus 3.19. I'm going to save it to Documents, Save. I'm going to open it. It will say verify publisher, so we're going to say yes. Do you want to allow Rufus to do checks, applications, updates online? I'm just going to say yes. And there we have Rufus. So I'm going to move this screen over just for now. I'm now going to scroll back up to the top. It doesn't have the link there, so I'm going back. Let's go back again. And just above where it says Rufus Utility, we're going to download the recovery image. It says click here. It has a Steam user notifications and license agreements, so we're going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to say that we've read it, and then we're going to download Steam OS. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in our new flash drive. We'll make sure that it's recognized. USB drive D. We're going to download the image. We're going to save as. I'm also going to put it into Documents. I'm going to save. It says 9 minutes, so I will come back once it's done, guys. So once we plug in the SanDisk, it will show up in driver on the top left here where it says 64 gig. That's what it is. It is a fresh one. As you can see on the left hand side, here is the Steam Deck recovery image. We're going to right click it. We're going to go to 7-zip and we're going to extract here. This will take a while, so let it run its course. So once the Steam Deck recovery image is downloaded, once you've extracted it, you will see it here on the left. If we drop down to the second box, you can see a select button. All we simply do is hit the select. We then go to our Documents. We find our image, which is the Steam Deck recovery image. We go to Open, and at the bottom we hit Start. Do you want to carry on and go ahead with it, because it will destroy any data that is on the hard drive or the SSD, and then we simply just go OK. It will say writing image at the bottom with a status bar, and again we simply just wait until it is finished. So that is it. Now we have the recovery on our SanDisk. Then literally we can use this once we've upgraded the Steam Deck internal memory. Just remember that what recovery option that you will choose when you have the options when you do the reinstall of Steam OS. So on to the next stage, we need to open up the Steam Deck. So I think I turned it off, but I'm just going to double check. So I'm going to hold down the power button. There we can see we haven't turned it off yet, so I'm going to shut it down completely. Go to shutdown. So first thing that we need to do is we need to undo the screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is a total of 8. The 4 in the middle are short, and the 4 on the outside are longer screws, so make sure that you keep them handy when you're taking them out. So as you can see, the screws on the outside are a lot taller and the 4 in the middle are a lot shorter. So next we're going to need to use the prying tool. So as you go normally by the triggers, that's normally the best place to make sure that you can get a nice tidy grip. We just glide it along. I'm sure you can hear it. And we spin it on its side again. And follow it round. Right to the end. And hopefully, if we've done it correctly, it should just simply click off. There we go, a little bit of wiggling. So there we have it. Here is the inside of the Steam Deck. So the next thing that we want to do is we need to take the shield off. So we need to take this off, the shield itself. There is 3 screws. One, we need to peel back this aluminum here, aluminum foil. Now don't take it off completely. So start from the top left and peel it back, because we need to reapply that over it once it's done. And we're reassembling it. So very carefully, you can peel it. Very slowly with it, guys, because it's very easy to tear, which I think I've just done. Not clever. But be very careful and meticulous with this part. There we go. And once you can see the screw, then that's fine. So we have one on the top here. I don't know if you can see that. We have this one here. We also have one on the left here. So we're going to take the middle one out first. I'm going to take this bottom left. I'm going to place it next to it, as in bottom left. And I'm going to take the shield, should just literally come off after we've taken the top left one out. So put them in order. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is just before I replace, this should literally just come off. There we go. As you can see, that's for the heat distribution there. Okay. So what we need to do now, guys, is we need to unconnect the battery. As you can see, we have the plus and the minus there. And it's a chunky old battery. But we need to unclip the ribbon cable. As you can see, I've started to pull it away. It's a plastic component that goes in, so I've pulled it out. I'm not too sure if you can see that. But once it's out, you've then totally freed it up. As you can see, the whole unit itself just slides out and disconnects. So what we need to do now is we need to make sure that the Steam Deck has got no power or electricity running through the unit itself. And yes, I did nick myself. So we just keep pressing it a few times just to make sure that there is no static electricity running through the unit. That is good enough for me. Now we need to undo the screw by the SSD. The old SSD should wiggle out, so we can take the heat shield off. Please don't throw this away, as you'll need this to go over your new SSD. So we can just slightly wiggle it from side to side. That's what it looks like. That is the old 64 gig. And we're going to replace it with our new 512. And we're just going to slide it in, wiggle it in, make sure that it is in securely. We're going to place the heat shield back on. So once the heat shield is back on, and we make sure that it is definitely pressed in, we then hold it down and we'll reinsert the screw. Then we can take the battery and reinsert it. And then with your fingernail, get right into the back, and then it should just start to slide in. Don't know if you can see that, guys. And you need to make sure that it's pushed all the way on both sides. And that is successfully making sure that the battery is connected. If there's no more pressure or force needed, then that should be successful. Okay. Now we can go ahead and put the heat shield back on. This should just be a case of just lining them up. Be careful putting it down. I hope I don't brick this. That will be terrible, as they're not readily available. Okay, so I am going to start with the main one, which was the center one. Don't forget to push back the aluminum foil. Like so. Next we need to take the bottom screw and reinsert that one. Now we need to put the back casing on. We should hear some satisfying clicks. Make sure to go right round the unit. And again, just double check to make sure that the unit is nicely secure. Right the way around, no gaps. And now we reinsert the screws. The 4 shorter ones in the center and the 4 larger ones in the ends. Okay, so there we have it, all complete, all installed. Next thing that we need to do is the next step, and that is reinstalling Steam OS. So next step is we need to grab the flash drive, or whatever you want to call it. Then we also need to have a USB 3 to a USB Type C. It's just so we can place it into the Steam Deck. And if you remember before, what we need to do is we need to hold down the volume, hold down the minus volume, and we need to hold the power button. When we hear the thing, we let go of the volume button, and we should boot into recovery mode. And then, as you can see, we have options. We can't use the trackpad, so we want to go into the EFI USB drive, USB, and we need to hit A. This will take a few moments. Again, let it take its course. As you can see, sorry about the noise, guys. Police going past. So as you can see, we are now in desktop mode. Once we've done that, we need to go to the desktop environment, and you can navigate using the trackpad. We have the clear local user data. We have re-image Steam Deck. We have reinstall Steam OS, and we have repair tools. So they're the options that we have. As I say, we can navigate with this. The option that I want to do is a full factory reset. So all user information, installed game applications will all be wiped and replaced with stock Steam OS. So I want to re-image Steam Deck. So I'm going to hit the right trigger. It will prompt you saying that it will replace everything and it cannot be undone. And it says, do you wish to proceed? I'm going to click the right trigger on proceed. Again, we let it take its course. So it's asking us if we want to reboot the Steam Deck. We're going to say proceed. Right trigger. It may take a couple of minutes more. There we go. So I'm just going to go through the setup guide, but as you can see, we have successfully installed Steam OS with the recovery, and also we now should have internal 512 gig. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay guys, so as you can see, welcome back to Steam Deck. Before you start playing, let's take a quick tour of the device. Tap the screen or press any button. So all you have to do is just quickly tap through all this palaver. There we go. So I've signed back into Steam Deck. As you can see, all the games will need to be downloaded, but more importantly, let's check to see whether the internal storage actually worked. So we head down to settings, storage, and not too sure if you can see, but there we go, 460 gigabyte free. So we have successfully installed 512 gig. The rest is for the operating system and whatever updates that it was doing as it was loading and logging through and installing Steam. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. There's one more thing that we need to do though. We need to go to System. We need to go down to Format SD card. So what we need to do is also, I got a 1 terabyte Amazon Basic on Prime Day for £111. So we're going to put in a 1 TB SD card. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So we're going to insert this. So before we do any downloading or any such craziness or madness, we're going to stick the SD card in. We're going to go Format SD card, confirm. We're going to let that take its course. So I think that's finished now. So let's go out of the systems. Let's go all the way down to storage. And there we have it. 912 gig free on the SD card and 460 gig free on the internal drive. Now that's what I call a bit of storage. Now that will help me put on lots of AAA games, loads of retro games. I'll be able to do some really good emulation games on there, full library hopefully, and lots of games that I am gonna really enjoy on the Steam Deck. If you really like the video guys, a like would be truly appreciated. I really do hope the guide and setup of internal memory and also SD card, making sure that you have an absolute powerhouse on Steam Deck. If you want to see more videos on the Steam Deck, then please consider joining the Sonic Love Emulation family by subscribing, hitting the bell notification and all that good stuff. Not only that, I will be doing a further video on this, showing you how to set up all the emulation, EMU deck and so forth, step-by-step guide like this, just so you can get it really spot on, so you can play all your fantastic games you wish to play. I'll also do another video on AAA games now I have the storage, and I'll be testing as many games as possible. If there is any games you wish to see, pop them in the comments. And as always guys, take care and enjoy your Steam Deck.